Hello and welcome back to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. I'm Erin and I'm here today with the creative design team for another Love Your Stash video collaboration. I am very excited to revisit this paper pack today. I'm going to create a double page layout featuring the Timberline collection. If you've been around close to my heart for a while, you probably recognize this. I absolutely love the outdoors, so anytime they have a camping theme layout, I am all over it. I have a paper organizer dedicated just to camping outdoor themed layouts. I'll really be diving into my stash and pulling some embellishments from other collections and from my Cricut as well. This is going to be a double page layout, so I brought in two of my VersaMats to work on. I just find it really helpful. I did already cut down all of my base papers. So this is Lagoon cardstock. It's one of the featured colors of the Timberline pack, and this is going to be my background, and we're going to create a frame style page. So these are 12 by 12, and then my white daisy cardstock I've trimmed down to 11.5 by 11.75. So we have a 1/4 inch margin all the way around, but I want it flush to the inside edge so it's like one solid canvas when you're looking at it in the album. I have quite a few photos here and they are all random sizes. I printed them myself. A lot of you ask, and I use the Epson PictureMate 400 to print at home, and that is so I have the flexibility of printing in odd sizes. Now I am scrap lifting a layout from Dorothy over at Scrapbooking Quebec. I absolutely love her scrapbooking style, and I know a lot of my viewers do watch her channel, but if you haven't yet, then definitely check it out. I'll leave her linked in the description box below. But we went on a family vacation to Yellowstone, and we went to the Tetons and hiked around Jenny Lake, and we saw this mother bear and her cub, and so I'll tell you the story about that, because yeah, they were pretty darn close, so it was a little bit scary. But I'm going to orient my photos in this orientation, and I'll make a few adjustments as we go. I don't have a screenshot of hers because I actually saw the layout in a YouTube video where she did a layout share, so I'll link that below. These are 3 by 4 photos. This is a 4 by 6, and that includes the white border because I printed them that way. This is 3 by 3, and then this one I've printed to 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. Really odd. I don't know where I came up with that one. I just did. So I will set these photos to the side, and I will bring in my paper layers. So my first layer is going to be this kind of distressed map paper, which is perfect for hiking because that's what we were doing in the pictures. So this is 10 by 11. That is what I've cut this piece to, 10 by 11. And using these measurement grid marks on my VersaMat makes it super easy to get both my sides lined up. And then this one is 5 by 10. So that is going to, again, we want this to look like one continuous piece. When it's in the album, of course, we won't have this margin here. My next layout is this gorgeous plaid, and it's slightly smaller. This one is 9 by 10, so just 1 inch smaller. And then this one's a little bit bigger. So it is 6.5 by 9. And that is going to go just like that. And our final layers, we have this gorgeous wood grain. This piece for the left-hand side is 9 by 8. Again, just 1 inch smaller. And then this side is 10 by 8. So you can kind of see how we've done this little stair step action going down or from the bottom to the top of our layers. Now what I'm going to do is pause the camera, and I'm actually going to gut these. I'm going to cut out the center of this one and cut out the center of this one because you're not going to see that, and I don't want to waste it because like I said, I'm a camping paper hoarder. Okay, I want to show you guys. So I just cut out the center and then cut the center of that one, and then that is my overlay. And I feel a little silly. I don't know why. It's like silly moment here. I just cut the strips because that's all that was showing since this piece was longer. So, you know, you don't have to cut the full measurements that I showed you a moment ago. Just cut little 1/2 inch strips to go on the top and bottom there. Sometimes we're just happily cutting away and then afterwards we're like, oh wow, yeah, why didn't I see that earlier? So everything is adhered down and I can place my pictures back where I want them to go. And this one's funny. My son found these sunglasses on the trail that someone had dropped and he thought they were just the coolest thing ever. So they're going to go just like this. And this one is going to overlap the bear photo just like this. And I'm going to tuck some embellishments in here. And let me grab my embellishments. So I have all of these wooden embellishments and title pieces. That is from the Spruced Up. I don't know if you guys remember this one, but this came with wooden embellishments and a bunch of different titles. And this says outdoor in big bold letters and then memories underneath it. So they are going to go right at the top in this space that I have created here. I love these wooden elements. You can do so much with them. You can use inks to stain them or color them with your shimmer brushes. I always tend to leave them kind of natural because I just really like the wood tone. Oh look, let's not misspell the word. That'd be bad. And I will adhere these with the micro glue dots. So outdoor, and then I'm going to put the word memories right over the top of my photo in this little space there. And then we have all these wooden trees. So this kind of prompted the rest of my embellishments. I wanted a bunch of trees because we're hiking in the forest and I liked these. So let me show you where I got my other trees. So I have all these trees from the Close to My Heart Cricut collection called Complete Creativity. And there's a layout in there. I'll pop it up on the screen here. But I took these tree images from that layout and then just sized them to fit my project. So I cut a whole bunch, and this is a retired colored cardstock called Ponderosa, and then Sage, which is currant. And I'm just going to create some different clusters here. So we'll set those to the side. So the story behind these photos is when this was a couple years ago, and as a kid, I went to Yellowstone with my family and we did go to the Grand Tetons and we visited Jenny Lake. So I wanted to just recreate that vacation for my family because my husband had never been and I just really wanted to share that with them. So we did go and we went to Jenny Lake. We were super excited about it and we're hiking along the trail. And when you're hiking, you're not really looking up. You're actually looking down at the trail so you're not going to, trip or misstep or anything like that. And my youngest, who's in the very back of the pack, hollers out bear, and we don't quite hear him or we're not paying attention, and he yells it again, thank goodness. So by the time my son Hayden and my husband were ahead of us, by the time they got the message, they were darn near on top of this mama bear and her cub. So we quickly scurried off the trail and just kind of stood behind a tree. She definitely saw us. And, yes, they're used to people. There's people all over these national parks, but they're a wild animal and you never want to take that for granted. So we were not sure what to do. We're like, oh, do we turn around and go back? It would be so disappointing. But, we wanted to be smart about the situation. Of course, I had a zoom telephoto lens, so I had to snap a picture from behind the tree and before we retreated. So we decided to just kind of walk backwards on the trail for a little bit. And then we hiked all the way, we went off trail. We went all the way down to the lake and then just kind of bypassed the bear and came up on the other side because we knew we weren't hiking back. We were going to ride the ferry once we got to the other side of the lake. And so that is, was our bear adventure. But, we knew we were going to see one eventually, or we were hoping. We just didn't want to see one that close. It was a little too close for comfort. So this is a zip strip. This is the branding strip, and I love to incorporate these, but this is going to just anchor my embellishments here and just kind of add some color and finish off the bottom of this layout. So I just cut it in half. We're going to tuck that piece there, and you'll see I have used the tree elements in each cluster. So we have 3 Again, we always want to create that visual triangle even across a double page spread, and that's going to lead your eye all the way over. I do have some more embellishments I'm going to add here, but I wanted to focus on my trees. I have large sizes, you know, and the different colors. So here's the ponderosa, the sage, and the wood, ponderosa, sage, wood, and then again up there, creating the different clusters. So typically I would bunch my photos together, and then I might tuck tags here at the top. You guys have seen me do that a lot. But Dorothy, on her layout, she bumped this photo up and put the tags in here below them. And I thought that was totally different for me and something new. So I wanted to try that. So I cut these with the tabs and tags thin cuts, and then made a little tag topper there, and they're just gonna sit right in here. So some of that pattern paper, and then we have some cardstock, and I'll layer some stamping or stamped embellishments over the top. But I thought that was a fun look, something new to try. So we're ready to add some stamping. I'm going to scoot this over, and I also did some stash diving in my stamp collection and found this one, and there's a bear on here, and I thought that is going to be perfect because that's really the story I'm telling here. So I've mounted that on a block, and I chose mocha ink for my ink color, and then we have a piece of white daisy cardstock here. So let me get this open, and we'll get this little bear nice and inky. Give him a good press and see how he turns out. Perfect. You have a handsome little bear head there. Move this out of the way. What I'm going to do is I have a stitch circle die, and that is probably just shy of 2 inches. So that's 1 3/4 inch circle. And I'm going to frame the little bear face here, and then I'll go ahead and run that through my die cutting machine. So that's how that turns out. Now we have this cute little circular element, and I thought it would look fun right here layering this tag and the tree. For all of you that can't stand things crooked, let me straighten that up for you just a sec. Now on Dorothy's layout, she had this super cute signpost, you know, like the signs you see pointing this way and that way, and they could say all sorts of different things. Now I believe hers was a die, and I don't have that, so I had to get creative. I just cut a strip of paper, and that is going to be a little bit too long, so let me trim that down. I've cut the top at an angle to make it look more like a post, and I'm going to tuck that in there, and then I'll show you how we're going to make the sign elements. I have this stamp. It's called Take a Hike, and there is a little signpost here, and it's tiny, but you'll see how I kind of adapt this to make it work for me. So again, I'll pick that up with my acrylic block. We're going to use the same mocha ink so everything ties in together. We have a little piece of white daisy cardstock, and my power's flickering. Let's really hope that does not go out. We have quite the snowstorm going on. It is crazy. We have almost 2 feet of snow. I wish for a white Christmas, and yeah, be careful what you wish for, guys. Okay, so that turns out cute. Let me get this out of the way. What I'm going to do is actually cut these out. So I'm just using the individual pieces, the little arrows, and I'm going to take those right off of the sign that they're on, because again, this is super cute, but it's a little bit too small for what I want to do with it. So I'm just going to adapt it to work for my layout. Maybe if I can get my scissors to function here. Not really my scissors, it was more my hands. So I'm going to cut the rest out off camera. And then I also have stamped a bunch of images from this stamp set. It's called Here and There, and there's all these fun little arrows with different sentiments on there, and so I did several of those. So let me move this back into center frame for you guys. And I have a bunch of different, you know, that one says adventure, and I think I'll put that there. I want them kind of going different directions. So this one says sky above, adventure, and we have awesome. I'm missing one. Where did it just go? I hate it when things walk away. There it is. It says good times. And you'll notice I've changed the color too. I thought it gave it a lot more character to have different size elements and different color elements as well. So fun to just be able to customize these embellishments with your stamps. And one more little guy right here. Sky above, adventure, awesome, good times, and earth below. I have some arrows that I pulled out from this Aurora acrylic shape, and these are the exact color of that lagoon paper, so I thought those would be fun to incorporate and use up even more of my stash. So maybe that one there. I don't know about this guy, maybe over here. We'll figure it out. And then there's a little wooden arrow. I thought that would look fun there. Just bring in more of that wooden element. Arrows are nice because they kind of direct your eye. So those are always fun to incorporate. I'm not sure. I'll play around with that one. Now you're probably wondering, I've got a big story to tell about this layout, but I really didn't leave any place to put the journaling. So I purposely didn't adhere this photo down, and I'm going to use a flip flap. This is a 3x4 flip flap. So that photo is going to sit in it, and when you flop it open or flip it open, you'll have, you know, room here and here for the story. So I will do that part and show you guys at the end. Depending on how long my story is, I may do more embellishing on the inside. We'll see when I type that up how it turns out. So unfortunately, due to the storm, I cannot print my journaling. The printer is connected via Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi's down, so it's not happening. But I think you guys get the gist of what I'm going to do with the flip-flap. Just tucking, you know, I can put the journaling here and another photo here, or vice versa, or journaling on both sides. But that is what it will look like. It'll sit just like that on top of the page protector and then open up like that. So I'm super happy with how this layout turned out. I knew I loved it as soon as I saw Dorothy create it. I love all the dimension on here and all these trees and the colors. So Dorothy, if you happen to be watching this, thank you for the inspiration. You can catch the rest of the Creative Design Team videos right here in this playlist. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you join the Crafty Concepts with Erin community. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.